What's going on, guys? I know it's been a couple days since I did a serious video. I think I even missed a day in there, but been busy getting things prepared. But what I have out here is all the dragons that I bought this year, and I want to give you guys my breeding plans with these guys. So I bought a total of, I think, 9 dragons. No, 10. I got one outside too, the big male. But we're gonna start with the first one that I bought this year, which would be this male. This is Loki. Loki. No, Stitch, sorry. Loki was a male from a long time ago. But this is Stitch. Stitch is a 50-50 Barbata Viticeps, and he's triple het for trans, Woodbit, and zero. And he's possible head hypo. So let me get him off of me. So he's a hybrid that's triple head and possible quad head. And in response to buying him, I went ahead and bought this female, which is also a hybrid, but this one is a 1/4 hybrid. So this one is a result from a hybrid like Stitch bred out to another Pagona Viticeps again. So it's only 1/4%, but you can see the traits in here a little bit for Barbata. And also got 3 more. This one is a hybrid as well. Same quarter. And these 2 as well. This one and this one. So my goal is to get a lot of the Barbata into my lines to strengthen them. Because if you guys didn't know, Australia is where most bearded dragons come from, where all bearded dragons originally come from. But they stopped allowing export a lot of years ago. I'm not sure the exact number, but since then we were stuck with the same bloodlines breeding over and over. That's why you don't see as many like big dragons like you seen back in the day. And the goal is to get the Viticeps blood in there to give them more size and a little diversity inside of the genes, so we can get some of that size back and get rid of some of the health problems. So that's why I went heavy with hybrids, and my goal is to breed more hybrids. So I'm going to breed my 50% hybrid to my quarter hybrids, which is these. Let's see. These 3 right here are all quarter hybrid. I really like this one head, and they have some nice color, and this female here too. Those are all quarter hybrids, and they all are hit with Woodbit and zero and stuff like that. But that's not the main reason I got those. I really wanted to focus on getting the hybrids in there, and then I'm gonna be breeding these later on. So I'm gonna breed Stitch to all 4 of the females that have hybrid as well, and then my whole bag zeros that I produce, I'm gonna breed those and make hets, and then I'm gonna breed my hets to these animals, and then hopefully produce zeros and Woodblits and Wirros and hypotrans and all that from those pairings. And that way there'll be a lot of outbreeding done, and should be bigger animals, less health issues and stuff like that. So that's my goal with that project. I picked up this female. She's a red. I'm going to be breeding her to the genetic stripe male that I have outside. I'm going to look and see if I have a picture or something of him. I'll post that right here. I'm going to be breeding her too. I'm looking for one more red female for her, for him. So That's gonna be my red project. So not much to talk about it. She's had hypo in trans, and he's a genetic stripe, hypo trans genetic stripe. But then I bought this male. He's a little dark right now because I just wet him up, but he's a hypotrans citrus hypotrans. His name is Haichu. All of them don't have names, but Stitch and Haichu does. That's Stitch, and it's Haichu. Well, Haichu, I bought this female to go with her. She's a little bit more orange, but you can see some yellow tones in her as well. And I think they'll complement each other well. And she's also a hypo. So when they breed, they're going to make all hypos. And she's het trans and possibly het wheelbit, I believe. I have to double check. But for sure, she's hypo and het trans. So he'll be breeding to her. And that's to increase like colors. I want some high color with yellows and oranges with barring. As you can see, she has some beautiful barring on her. Very beautiful barring. So that's to go with that project. And I also bought this male to go with him. She's a citrus as well. She has a little bit of orange tones in her. She's a little dark right now as well. Let me get her up. And that's her. Again, she has some nice barring. She's a little darker than what she normally is. But she has a nice yellow to her and a good amount of orange as well. So I want to make some good oranges and yellows like citrus. That's the goal with that project. So that's pretty much all the projects that I have right now. I'm planning for the future. And of course, I'll be crossing them to my whole back set I bred this year. I got other projects. Of course, my Euromastics. I have I have 3 pairs and an extra male. 2 pairs already produce eggs for me. One I got babies from, and then the other pair that I'm gonna be putting together soon is a younger pair, so I might not get eggs next year, but I just want to get them together so they can establish their bond for, if it's not next year, the year after that. And I also finally picked up my Lacertus. I have them. I just got to build new cages for them. Once I built the new cages for them, I'll show you guys those guys. I still have the babies from them too. I'm still on the fence if I'm gonna sell those or sell the babies or grow them up so I can have a larger group to breed. Let me see here. What else? I picked up some iguanas as well. Some more iguanas. I have one that I'm going to be keeping. It's a conspicuosus iguana. They're pretty cool. I'm going to show you guys all these in the future. But right now, I got to build new caging and stuff like that. I have them housed. They're eating and stuff like that. But that cage is going to be a lot better. So once I build those new cages, and I'll show you guys them. But right now, I'm planning for the Florida trip, so I'm out of commission as far as building cages. When I get back from Florida, I plan on doing a lot of building. I got to do some modifications to the garage, like insulate the garage and put an AC unit in there so that I can keep more species and keep them comfortable and give them some stability as far as the weather, because right now they're subject to whatever the weather is outside, which can be good and bad at the same time, depending on if you can keep them cool enough to not overheat. I think a good natural cycle will help with breeding, and that'll be about it. So yeah, that's my future plans for the dragons that I bought this year. I bought a total of 10, actually 11. I bought that very big female too, but I only bought her to produce stuff for like reptile shows and stuff like that when people gonna be buying their first pet. And a lot of times the first pet you're not gonna want to pay $400 or $500 for. So what you do is offer them some beautiful, healthy lizards, and then next thing you know, they'll be buying more expensive stuff. That's what happened to me. I bought my first dragon, I think it was $120. That dragon didn't eat for a week or something like that, and I was new to him, so I returned that one to the breeder. And then I went to Petco. And bought my first orange female, and she was similar to her, without as much barring. And she was she just was glowing in the cage to me. So I picked her out, and then that same day I went online and bought my second dragon, which was a male. Bought it from Dashu Dragons. My first male was his name was Spike, and he was a leatherback, and he had barring like that. And then like a week after that, I bought another male. His name was Rex. Typical bearded dragon names, Spike and Rex. But yeah, that was the first three that I got. And the reason I bought them is because my cousin went to a show that weekend before, and he came to my house, and he had a sorry about that, I had a phone call. But yeah, my cousin, went to a reptile show that weekend, and he came to my house, and he had a male. He looked similar to this, a little bit lighter, and it was a hypo, and he called him French tip. And then I was like, I need one too. And then I bought my first one, and like I said, that one didn't eat for like a week. So I went and bought my first female. Her name was Brianna. So I had Brianna, Rex, and Spike, and I had them in because I used to have fish. I used to collect fish before I did dragons. I used to do cichlids, South American mostly. But I had recently moved, and my fish died in the move, so I had the fish tank. So I just used the fish tank for them, and I put like the light diffuser in the middle. It was 120 gallons, so it was probably like 40 gallons on each side. A little bit bigger than 40 gallons on each side. But the size, the width, like the floor space is similar to a 40 gallon. So I pretty much had two 40 gallons inside that one tank. And I had, they was still young. And then they got big enough to break through. The little light diffuser. And then I was cutting the hair in the room that I had my lizards in. And I heard some noise and looked over, and Spike was breeding with Brianna, and I got eggs 21 days later. I built the incubator using a container similar to this. I used a human heat pad I put underneath it, and inside there I had like a shoebox container full of sand. And then inside of that I had a container with the eggs in it. And every week I'll put like more water inside the sand, and had the lid on top of here, and I just did that and had 16 eggs, my first clutch ever, and 16 eggs hatched. And it was just everything on the spur of the moment, just learning as I went. And then eventually I picked up more animals. I sold those babies. I kept a couple of them. And went on to breed those. Some of those lines could be traced all the way to some of the stuff I have now. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my future plans with these 10 dragons that I picked up. I will be looking for another red female and possibly another red male, depending on. Well, I can't even say that, because once I see something I like, and then I'm gonna buy it. So my plan is to just breed what I have now, but things can change. I will be going to a show in Arizona in November, so who knows. I really need to focus on what I got right now. But this is this is very small amounts of what I was breeding previously. I maybe had 22 breeding adults before. Something close to that number. But yeah, this is me starting back up. You guys are along for the ride. I thank everybody who has subscribed to the channel and has been watching my videos all the way through, hitting the like button, commenting down below. I appreciate every single one of you. So yeah, I hope you guys stay along for the ride. I got a lot of stuff coming up, cage builds. You guys get to see these guys grow up from this size all the way into breeding, and seeing these guys' babies posted on my website and stuff like that, and see it from the beginning. I really like this little girl's head. It's nice. But yeah, I'm gonna get these guys back into their cages. I just wanted to give you guys a real video since I haven't been posting for the last 2 or 3 days anything seriously. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And thanks again for watching. You guys have a good one.